On paper, Aston Martin's 2025 Formula One season looked like a failure. 7th in the Constructors' Championship, just 89 points. No wins, no podiums, no pole positions. Their worst result since returning under the Aston Martin name. For most teams, a year like that would trigger panic, resignations, and emergency development plans. But Aston Martin didn't panic because this outcome was planned. Long before the first race of 2025, the team had already accepted that the current season would be sacrificed. Executives openly admitted that resources were being split, and when forced to choose, the future mattered more than the present. The future, in this case, was 2026, the biggest technical reset Formula One has seen in generations. The evidence was impossible to ignore. While rivals found pace over the season, Aston Martin improved less than anyone. In Saudi Arabia, their car failed to beat its own 2024 lap times, an almost unheard of statistic in modern Formula One. Yet there were no excuses, no angry statements, and no visible concern from the leadership. Instead, engineers described 2025 as a learning platform. Their brand new wind tunnel, one of the most advanced in the sport, was not used to fix the current car. Its earliest operational months were devoted almost entirely to developing the 2026 machine. Rather than chasing points, Aston Martin chased data. Rather than reacting to results, they prepared for a reset that would erase years of competitive advantage across the grid. This philosophy came straight from the top. Lawrence Stroll wasn't interested in marginal midfield progress. He wanted a championship window, and that meant timing everything around a regulation change where money, infrastructure, and talent could matter more than history. The 2025 car became a test subject. Every race weekend fed information into the future project. Every shortcoming was accepted as part of a larger plan. It was a rare example of a Formula One team willingly stepping backward with both eyes open. But sacrificing a season only makes sense if something extraordinary is being built behind the scenes. And that's where Aston Martin's real story begins. Because while fans were watching lap times fall, Aston Martin was quietly assembling the most powerful, technical lineup the sport has seen in years. Every ambitious Formula One project eventually centers around one question: who designs the car? For Aston Martin, the answer became clear in September 2024, when they landed the most influential engineer in modern F1 history, Adrian Newey. Newey's resume stands alone: championship-winning cars at Williams, title dominance at McLaren, an era-defining run at Red Bull, 14 drivers' championships, 12 constructors' titles. No designer has shaped modern Formula One more profoundly. But Aston Martin didn't just hire Newey, they rewrote the rules to get him. The contract itself was staggering: 5 years, roughly £150 million in total compensation. That alone placed his annual earnings above nearly every driver on the grid. But the truly unprecedented element was ownership. Newey received an equity stake in the team, transforming him from an employee into a partner. For the first time in his career, he wasn't just designing cars, he was invested in the organization's long-term success. His departure from Red Bull wasn't sudden. Internal shifts following Dietrich Mateschitz' death, power struggles, and an increasingly uncomfortable environment all played a role. Newey later admitted that staying would have meant compromising his principles. Aston Martin offered something different: control, stability, and a clean slate. He officially joined in early 2025, and months later, the team announced something even more shocking. Newey would become team principal in 2026, a role he had never taken before. It signaled total trust and total commitment. But no great designer works alone. Around Newey, Aston Martin assembled elite leadership. Andy Cowell arrived after overseeing Mercedes' record-breaking engine dominance. Enrico Cardilla joined from Ferrari to lead technical operations. This wasn't a patchwork rebuild, it was a top-down transformation. And crucially, all of it was aligned toward one moment: the 2026 regulation reset. Because the car Newey is designing won't just be different, it will be powered by a partnership that changes Aston Martin's position in Formula One entirely. In May 2023, Aston Martin made a move that reshaped their future. They secured an exclusive works partnership with Honda, starting in 2026. Not a customer supply, not shared engines, a full factory-backed collaboration just for them. That distinction matters more than most fans realize. In a works relationship, engineers don't simply exchange components, they exchange ideas. Chassis and power unit are developed together, optimized as a single system, with lap time as the shared objective. Andy Cowell described it as unlocking entire layers of performance that customer teams never access. Honda demonstrated their commitment immediately. They established a dedicated UK facility focused solely on Aston Martin. When a manufacturer builds infrastructure specifically for your team, it signals long-term intent, not experimentation. Honda's recent Formula One record speaks loudly. Since returning in 2019, Honda-powered cars won roughly half of all races, driving multiple championships alongside Red Bull. They understand how to build winning power units under pressure. But 2026 represents something new for everyone. The MGUH disappears completely, removing one of the most complex systems of the hybrid era. Electric power output nearly triples, and the power split shifts toward a near 50-50 balance between combustion and electric energy. Active aerodynamics return. Cars get lighter, smaller, and more sensitive. This reset wipes away years of accumulated advantage. Stable regulations favor established leaders. Radical change creates opportunity for challengers. Aston Martin recognized that window and aligned their entire operation to attack it. Yet risks remain. Honda has admitted the challenge is immense. Lightweight batteries, thermal management, and reliability all present hurdles. Reports suggest early designs may carry weight penalties. Meanwhile, rival manufacturers are chasing loopholes that could decide performance before the first race even begins. A works partnership unlocks potential, but it also magnifies failure. Because with everything changing at once, 2026 won't reward preparation alone. It will punish even the smallest miscalculation. The 2026 regulations represent more than a technical update. They represent a reset of competitive order. Both chassis and power units change simultaneously, something Formula One rarely attempts. Engines lose the MGUH. Electric power nearly triples. Active aerodynamics allow cars to switch between high downforce corner mode and low drag straight line mode. Minimum weight drops. Fuel becomes fully sustainable. Even tires and dimensions change. As several team principals have said, everything is new. For dominant teams, this is dangerous. Their advantage was built through years of optimization under stable rules. For ambitious teams, this is opportunity. Aston Martin bet everything on this moment, but betting doesn't guarantee winning. Adrian Newey himself admitted uncertainty. Transforming a rapidly growing organization into a unified, high-performance team takes time. Talent must integrate, processes must stabilize, ideas must align. History offers warnings. Honda has delivered both championships and disasters. Massive investment has failed before. Money accelerates progress, but it doesn't replace execution. Every major team is targeting 2026. Mercedes expects engine superiority. Ferrari arrives with elite drivers and ambition. Red Bull enters a new era with Ford. Aston Martin is not alone in dreaming big, which means the margin for error is razor thin. Because when everyone resets together, only one thing separates winners from losers: execution under pressure. Since 2020, Lawrence Stroll has poured hundreds of millions into Aston Martin. New facilities, new leadership, new partnerships. Few owners have invested so aggressively in such a short time. But Formula One history is ruthless. Spending doesn't guarantee speed. Talent doesn't guarantee harmony. Facilities don't guarantee results. And yet, championships don't appear without them either. Aston Martin has eliminated excuses. They now possess world-class infrastructure, elite engineers, a works engine partner, and regulatory timing aligned perfectly with their ambitions. What remains is execution. As one rival team boss put it, regulation resets always create winners and losers. There is no middle ground. When the grid forms in 2026, Aston Martin will either emerge as genuine contenders or as proof that even flawless preparation can fail. Because when the lights go out in 2026, the question won't be what Aston Martin built, but whether it actually works. When Aston Martin launches its 2026 car, there will be nowhere left to hide. Years of sacrifice, planning, and investment will be judged in a single moment. They chose to lose in 2025. They chose to wait. They chose to gamble. Adrian Newey leads the project. Honda supplies exclusive power. A state-of-the-art factory brings it all together. No midfield excuses remain. If they succeed, Lawrence Stroll will be remembered as the owner who played the long game and won. If they fail, this project will become one of the most expensive what-ifs in Formula One history. Some things can't be bought, but nothing can be won without commitment. Aston Martin has committed everything. Now, the sport waits to see if preparation beats legacy. Because 2026 won't just decide Aston Martin's future, it will reveal whether modern Formula One can still be conquered from the outside. Before you leave, if you want to understand how Max Verstappen finds speed when grip disappears, make sure you watch our other video, how Verstappen's grip trick destroys everyone else. In that breakdown, we explain step by step how Max controls a car in low grip conditions, why sliding doesn't slow him down, and why other drivers struggle to copy his style. It perfectly connects with what we discussed today, especially with 2026 cars becoming harder to drive. If this video made sense to you, that one will completely change how you watch Verstappen on track.